Hey guys. Hey, Trev time. Diane P. Trying to go back up here. Sassy Brenda, Selena Dixon, Millie, Lady R. Alright, so if I have to get off of here really abruptly, I'll just like pre-record this and put it out as a live like I usually do with pre-recorded stuff. But alright, so Dawn comes up on Prayer Garden's panel. I'm just going to refer to her as PG throughout this. He wishes her daughter that just had surgery well, which so do I. I don't know what happened, but I hope she heals quickly. PG talks about how she made a beautiful t-shirt for summer. I'm not muted, am I? Okay. All right, she talks about how she made this beautiful t-shirt for summer and it's posted on her Facebook page. I tried to look up her Facebook page and I didn't find anything. I don't know if she goes by Prayer Garden on Facebook. I have no idea. I couldn't find her on there. She said she will get in touch. PG said she's going to get in touch with a retailer so she can sell these t-shirts. I don't know why she couldn't sell them on her own. I don't know why she has to get in touch with a retailer, but however that works, whatever. Maybe that's besides the point, but I also want to make it clear that I'm not on here to hate on Prayer Garden. I know a lot of people follow me and her, and I really don't care who you follow. I don't personally care for her, but that's my opinion. But I still like to hear everybody's perspective, whether you like her or not. And I don't blame anyone for going into any chat, no matter where you go. If Summer is being talked about, I get it. I tend to stay out of there, but that's just me. So let's see. Yeah, so she says her channel is Summer's channel. If that's the case, I wish she would talk more respectfully in Summer's name. That's really all I have to say about PG right now. This isn't about her, it's about Summer. Summer's dad, Don Wells, decided to go up on PG's panel and he lost his cool. So did Prayer Garden. It really pulled away from Summer from having any real solid conversation about her. PG says it won't cost him any money. She will put it together and the company will print them as people buy them. I don't know how she knows the company will do this unless she's already talked to them, but I was wondering about that. She must have already researched a company and lined one up. I don't know. I don't really know if that's even a thing that's going to happen, but she said it's $20 a t-shirt and she wants it to go to a reward fund for Summer. So I don't even know if that's a real thing that's going to happen. And if it is, who would be in charge of that money? Because I don't know. I wouldn't just trust anybody to just be in charge with all that money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've seen all the scams already in Summer's case. But my question was, who's monitoring all those funds throughout the 5 years? Because she said that it would be good for 5 years. So then Don just randomly says he thinks there's a lot of evil entities. Don says he just wants to thank the good people out there and he doesn't want any money from people. Even though he said recently on a live that if people would send him money, he would go look for Summer. He says he is appreciative people are sharing Summer's picture and story. He says he is willing to move on, forgive, and forget in Summer's name. So who is he willing to move on, forgive, and forget from? I don't know what he means by that because I'm not willing to just move on, forgive, and forget about Summer. If that's what he's talking about, there's no way in hell. He says in Summer's name, love, and in God's name, let's not forget God, Don says. So Don needs people to send him money so he can go search. Can someone make that make sense to me? I get that he has to work and make money, but he has free time. He doesn't have any kids. It's not like they pay rent. They have stuff to pay for, but not much. Don doesn't need money to search for his missing daughter, Summer. Then Don says he doesn't want to be involved with any money or anything like that. PG basically is trying to have Don get Tim to control the financial part of the t-shirt sales so Don wouldn't have to worry about dealing with any money, because she really wants Don to jump on board with her t-shirt idea. PG says, well, you have to be involved. You and Candace would have to open up the bank account the money would go into. Don says he doesn't want to be involved with anything to do with money. PG says they tried to get up a child fund for the boys, and they said the parents would have to open it. I don't even know if that's true, if she really just called and asked, or if she actually had money to put into a fund for the boys. Because if that's the case, I feel like she should still do something with that money if she has it. That's just my opinion. So PG tried to open a fund for the boys. I know the parents have to open a bank account, but do they have to be the ones to deposit the money too? I'm just curious, because that would be cool if there was a way for people to donate to them directly into their accounts without getting any of their information. But I wish I knew more about technology. I don't know how that stuff works. Don says, I will tell you step by step, but I don't want to be involved in it. PG then asks if he is still friends with Tim Mullen, and this is where Don says, yeah, he's my best friend. PG says, this is something I want you to discuss with Tim, because he would know how to go about getting the account open and how to hook Don up with printers for those particular shirts. Don said, I'll make sure it's in our kids' names so me and Candace can't touch it. PG says, well, see how Don changed all of a sudden? He's like, oh, well, there's going to be a bank account with money in it? Okay, well then, yeah, we'll do it. But we won't touch it, I swear. I thought that was kind of funny. PG says it will go to them when they're 21, because when you're 18, you're not quite mature enough yet. So when the boys turn 21, they could have a college fund if Summer's not found. PG's guest asks, why did they take the reward down? Don says they had to divvy it up. Not sure what he means by that, because it went to the Children's Advocacy Center when the reward fund expired. PG says it's because Tiffany Marie wrote a fake check and made them look bad, and that's why it ended up being taken away from Summer. That is not true. That's not what happened. It expired. It was extended once, then it expired. It had nothing to do with Tiffany Marie. I thought that was ridiculous. Hello, Beverly. Oops. Hey, Denalyn to the legendary. Yeah. I'm trying to read what you just said, Valerie Ventura. How are you doing, Valerie? It says, but did y'all notice that was PG opened up her dialogue with that, the reward fund, any money? It's all a sore subject. I think PG is gaslighting Don. Yeah, that could be. I didn't think about it like that. Hey, Helen, someone. Hey, Kiki's eyes. Yeah, Trev, I'm sure it's your fault somewhere in there, right? That'll come out. Hey, Priestman. I don't know if it's Michael or Mikkel or Michelle, so I always just say Priestman. So anyways, PG says she is sure everyone would be willing to make a t-shirt. Don says, and maybe if she's not found, maybe we could use the money to buy some private land in Utah, and we could just do good stuff or just camp out and relax. What did he mean by good stuff? Like they're not doing bad, like they're doing bad stuff here, so he wants to go there and do good stuff? And why would you want to use it for something useless like that when your daughter's missing? I'm all for camping and relaxing, but there's far more that could be done with that money that once was a reward fund for Summer. At least use it to help another child or her brothers. He says, well, I'm just saying. PG says she thinks it would be better if it went to the boys, which I actually agree with her there. Don interrupts and says, I'm going to share something with you all that nobody knows about Summer, if that's okay. This part I did not like. One thing I know about Summer, me and Candace fight. Our marriage ain't perfect. One thing I know about Summer is she would say, stop, let's get along. He said, that's one message I can share about Summer, because That's who she is, even at such a young age. Wow, Don. So Summer was always telling you and Candace to stop fighting? That's not healthy for a little 5-year-old girl, and probably younger when, she was doing. I'm sure she was doing that before she was 5 too. Hey, Yomain. Hey, Dee. But yeah, I didn't like that at all. Summer's word is stop. So, all right, Don. Gotcha. Yeah, Candace didn't like that either. I don't think Candace really likes Don talking to Prayer Garden at all. PG talks about how you can tell Summer is full of kindness and love. Don says she hasn't experienced life yet, though. He says PG and himself and Candace have all been through pure hell. Summer never got to experience pure hell. Don, you're not making yourself look very good in this one. You don't want Summer to experience pure hell, do you? The way it sounds, you do, the way you worded this. If Summer truly was abducted, don't you think there's a chance that she has or is experiencing pure hell? Was her life pure hell? I question it. PG says she also isn't getting to experience the beautiful things in life either, which you think would be what Don would have said rather than, well, she didn't get to experience pure hell. Really? Did she? Because the way you're saying that makes me feel like she did. She says Summer isn't getting that. She would have wanted an Easter basket to share and her dress and her little buckle shoes and would have loved to go to church Easter morning. Yes, and not to mention the whole life she has or had ahead of her with school, sports, extracurriculars, friends, sleepovers, first job, for her first apartment. She had a whole life ahead of her. Don says at least Summer got to experience a wonderful woman named Robin Lane and her daughter. So I wonder, was Robin more to Summer than Candace was? I'm just curious because the way that Don talks about Robin, Summer loved her and looked up to her like a mother when Summer already had her own mother right there. So Summer seemed to prefer Robin over Candace, in my opinion, and that says a lot to me. PG interrupts him and says, don't you sometimes get so dang angry you just want to break an effing wall down? Don says, don't think I haven't messed my wrist up and everything else. Don says, yes, ma'am. There are several times I have thoughts of killing people and I have to pray to God to help me. Candace is in the background like, wow. So let's hear it. Don says he knows they look guilty too. I always forget to open another second StreamYard tab. All right, let me figure out what my timestamp is here. 8:57 to 24:10.
Don't think I have it, and I hurt my wrist and everything else. Yes, ma'am. I have times where I have thoughts of killing people, and then I have to pray to God to help me. I mean, if I run into the person that took my daughter and hurt her, or anybody else just for daughter for that.
Wow.
I mean, wouldn't you, or anybody else?
He's saying if he ran into the person that took his daughter, he would feel like killing them. And yeah, Valerie, I wish Summer could be found too. So it could end all the Wells shenanigans. Right. That would be great. But it would be great just to have her found because that's what she deserves. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm gonna tell you something, Donald. I'm gonna tell you something.
I have a real problem.
Well, my daughter was in surgery, I could do nothing. I could do nothing but pray, nothing but beg, nothing but beg God
But God come
to
through,
please watch
right?
over.
But God
And
come
I asked Jesus to please be there with her.
through. Yeah.
I asked the angels to please watch over her. Man, I'm going to tell you what. It's a feeling like, it's a feeling that I don't want. It's
Yeah.
a feeling. It's a feeling, dude. That it's too much. It's too much.
You're completely reliant on God because there's no other
Yes,
explanation.
yes. You
And he,
absolutely.
I wouldn't be completely reliant on God. I'd be heavily reliant on law enforcement too if I was Don. But apparently he doesn't trust law enforcement. In his own words.
Absolutely. You just all I can do is pray and pray and pray and just hope for big weight lifted off your shoulders. You wasn't doing good with just the worry I was having then. If it wasn't for God, I couldn't have gotten through it. You know what I'm saying? It's too much. And what I can only imagine. I can only, imagine. No. People are thinking you're guilty, man, because you guys just ain't acting right for someone.
I know that.
To have a missing child.
We made a lot of mistakes. We didn't know how to handle all this.
So Don's saying he made a lot of mistakes. They didn't know how to handle all of this. Like, he just wants to try and justify all of their past behaviors, all the pranks they pulled, all the friends that they burned through, all the people that they used. They're grifting in their own daughter's name. They're going to try and justify all of this now. And it's not the first time I've heard him try to justify it. And at least he can admit that they screwed up.
The tension, all the drama, and everything else. We both made lots of mistakes. There's no doubt about that. I agree with you 100%. We look guilty. There's no doubt.
You did. You still do.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at nobody, okay? I'm not mad. Of course not.
We don't care if you're mad at us. I don't care if you're mad at me. A lot of people don't care if you're mad. We think you look guilty. We're not trying to. It doesn't really matter if we hurt your feelings or not because it's not about you. It's about Summer. And I think you look guilty too. I think Candace is looking extremely guilty.
Baby, stop, please.
No.
Yeah, okay. It makes sense. I'm sorry,
Candace there with you?
Of course she's still with me. That's my sweetheart, and I'll love her to the end. And I know she's not guilty. She loved her babies. She's will always love her babies. And that's the only reason. I mean,
Don, accidents can happen. People love their kids, and there's still accidents every day. Just saying. Doesn't mean you didn't love your kids.
I wouldn't stick by her if she was guilty of something. I wouldn't. I mean, I would come out with the truth because everybody does. Truth always prevails anyway.
Why? Why does Candace keep trying to convince us that you had something to do with Summer disappearing?
She doesn't keep trying to do that.
She did. She did. She tried to convince Jenna of it. She tried to convince me of it, Donald. She tried to.
Did Candace really try to convince people that Don was guilty, or did she just kind of throw him under the bus a little bit? I don't remember her specifically trying to convince anybody that Don was guilty, but if she did, I would love to hear that. I remember Candace saying she had a problem with Donnie when she was asked a question along the lines of what she thought happened to Summer or who she thought might have taken Summer. She said, I have a problem with Jody Sue. I have a problem with Don. And whoever else she said. But I don't remember her specifically saying, yeah, I think Don did something to Summer and he's the guilty one. I don't remember that, but maybe it did happen.
She went to stay the night at Daisy's and told Daisy's that, that he had something, that she believes he had something to do with it, talking about you?
Bear guns. Number one, I want you to know that I love you. No, okay. Yeah, she got out there. She had a lot of pressure on her. You know that. We've all have. Everybody that's covered this case has had all kinds of pressure on them.
Okay, am I wrong in thinking that Don is being a total narcissist in this? Because seriously, hey, Messy Jesse, because seriously, like, I see it in him all the time. It's not just this, but he's such a narcissist. He'll just be like, oh, you know what? I love you. Like, dude, she just literally said that she thinks you're guilty and you look guilty and you're like, but I love you. You know what I'm saying? What was that? Did you hear that Prayer Garden had a recorded? I always lose my comments. Had a recorded call of Daisy that she's saying she'll release. Really? Interesting. I would love to hear that. That's got to be good. I'm sure that'll be nice and juicy. Wonder if it'll actually have anything to do with summer. That'd be a surprise.
Want to know the
Right.
truth. I want to
Right.
find our daughter. And I want to thank you all for loving our daughter like we do. And
So, you know, so why did you guys act the way you acted
I don't know. I can't
at the
answer.
beginning? Was it because of so many people coming at you that you felt,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that you
that's
felt
wrong.
you had to guard up, that you wanted to start getting even with them by doing what you were doing?
Yes, that's the best way I could explain it. You know what
Of course, Don's gonna take that out.
you just said. I mean, we've gone through so much trauma and everything else, and we still are. We love our babies. Of course, we want our baby home. You know,
Jim, you know, you've got three sons in Child Protective Services. Why ain't you straightening up? Why ain't you straightening up and
We
doing
are.
whatever you have to do to
We
get
are.
your boys back? Why
We
are
are.
you not pressuring law enforcement to clear you?
Well, I can't pressure law enforcement.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can.
She's actually right, Don. You can pressure. Hey, Red Milla. You can pressure Lady R. You can pressure law enforcement. You can call them if you want every day if you want to. I mean, it is somebody's job to answer the phone and relay a message, and you can talk to them and tell them, look, this hate is getting ridiculous and we want to be cleared, and tell them every day that you are demanding that they clear you because you guys are innocent. And if you're really innocent and they have a reason to clear you because they don't think that you guys are guilty and they have evidence that says that you're not, then they'll come out and clear you. Otherwise, they're not going to clear you. I mean, it's pretty simple. Yeah, right. I think my computer is going to die soon. No, it's at 20%. We're good for a minute.
Okay.
Yes, you can. You know, John Benet Ramsey's parents pressured law enforcement to freaking clear them. They wasn't going to lose their son. They wasn't going to lose their son because
Wow.
law enforcement made a fucking mistake and you know and started picking on them. They said,
is that true even? I don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure Jean Benet Ramsey's parents, weren't they already like pretty much cleared in the beginning, or am I wrong on that? I can't really remember. But I don't think she's accurate here. I could be wrong.
he said, "Oh hell no, this ain't going to happen. You ain't going to do this to us." And they fought back until they got cleared.
Well, that sounds great. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it sounds great, don't
Thank
it?
you for letting me understand that. Wow. You're right. You're right. Thank you.
Absolutely, they did.
I know a lot of people think that they say that Don doesn't sound drunk on this, but I beg to differ. In my opinion, I hear alcohol in his voice. I can hear it in his voice. But, I mean, that's just me. That's just my opinion. And Candace definitely sounds intoxicated. She sounds like when she gets intoxicated, she goes all out. She doesn't sound like she's even kind of there. She's gone. every time. And obviously, they're still drinking. For the people that say they're not, they are, obviously.
Yes.
So, why are you not doing this? And
Well,
Candace, I hear you in the background being passive aggressive. I hear you girl, if you want to talk to me, you come on out here and talk.
I mean, we're trying to do everything we can. I mean,
And Donald, I'm going to tell you something.
I'm far from.
Don, how are you trying to do everything that you can? It's a serious question. I'm just wondering because I've heard that somebody sent you guys a whole bunch of flyers that you threw away. Is that true? That's not doing everything you can.
I'm going to tell you something. I remember back at the beginning of all of this, almost 2 years ago.
Yeah,
June the 15th, it'll be 2 years, son.
Yeah.
And I remember back at the beginning of this, and I'm going to tell you something. I remember you not drinking.
I'm going to try to for gardens. Don't call
I remember you not drinking.
I remember
you really was wanting to straighten up. You was really trying to get Candace to straighten up, and she wouldn't. And she wouldn't. Okay. You kept fighting it.
Hold up. You're getting out there in left field on me.
So he just randomly starts getting mad because she's starting to call him out on him drinking. And then she starts to also as well call Candace out, and he tells her she's going in left field on him. Yeah, right. Here comes. So hey, find Summer's Truth. Hey, hon. So sorry if I didn't say hi to anybody. I tried to say hi to everybody. Yeah, about her ribs, Valerie. I don't know. I don't know if that really was from working with Don drywalling, because I don't see how could you get cracked ribs doing drywall? But I don't know. Maybe her and Don got in a fight for all we know. I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened, but for all we know, it wouldn't be the first time.
When are you going to straighten up, Bert?
I haven't never been on straight, Donald. Took care of my home.
Okay, you want to go there, and then I'm just going to hang up with you. You want to be my friend, that's one thing, but you're going out there in left field.
I'm not going out in left field. I remember you.
Hey man, you're fucking all of a sudden becoming holier than now. You need to fucking step back for a minute.
How you know I'm not? How you know I'm not?
It's been really cool.
All right, it's going to be a little bit of a language warning here. I don't know if anyone's got little ears listening, but if you do, you better put your headphones in, because they both use some pretty foul language.
Up to this point, what the fuck happened? Chill out. Just chill out.
No, everything was cool. Everything was cool until you started getting upset because you got upset because what? Because okay, I said.
Hold up! I'm using Summer's words. Stop.
Are you upset, Donald? Because I said that you.
Don. All right, when you come out and you're like, I'm using Summer's words, stop. I don't like that at all. That really bothers me. I feel like you're almost mocking her in a way, or you're like not taking it seriously. Like, don't use her name like that. That just bothers me. It's like when people use the Lord's name in vain and it bothers people. Well, I feel like he's using Summer's name in vain here. Does that make sense? I don't like it at all. I hate it when he does that. It just makes me wonder how he talked to her. How did he talk to her? Because he doesn't seem to care as much as he says he does. That kind of made me mad. Hey, Coco. Hey, Sassy Scouser. Teresa. Did I say hi to you, Teresa? Apple of his eye. It's inappropriate, yeah, and strange. I don't like it.
That you were straightening up.
Stop.
So what happened?
This is Summer's words. Stop. Are you listening?
I'm going to tell you.
I remember. Okay, stop. I thought we was gonna be friends. Come on, man.
I thought you were going to quit drinking. I thought you were going to quit doing drugs. I thought you were going to fight to get your children back.
I feel like drugs and alcohol are heavily involved in Summer's case. Hey, Lisa. And it's really sad, but unfortunately, we see it a lot in missing children's cases when the parents aren't exactly, don't exactly look innocent. Usually they're on drugs, and that had something to do with their child going missing. And I hate to say it, but God, I hope Summer isn't a part of that statistic. I mean, we all obviously hope that somehow she's somewhere safe, but in the depths of my heart, I just feel like it has something to do with drugs. And Don gets really upset anytime he starts getting called out on his drinking or anything. And he tries so hard to act like he didn't know anything about drugs. Makes me feel like it has something to do with drugs.
You, man, see, you're gonna go out there, right? That's why I can't talk to you. That's why you're left alone, man.
That's why me and you argue. That's why me and you argue.
You're gonna say I'm doing drugs and all this shit, really?
I can hear Candace in the background now, and I know she's not sober.
No, you can hear your fucking own voice.
No, it's her. It's her.
No, it's your voice.
And you're telling her to be quiet.
Why you gotta be a bitch? Come on, man. Don't make me go there. This is the last time I'm gonna talk.
I bet Don was hoping that nobody heard Candace in the background. Probably. And he was probably hoping that he could pull it off that no, she wasn't. She didn't say anything, but we all heard her. She sounded like a child.
Try to be your friend. This is the last time. It's up to you at this point.
I'm gonna tell you what. No, it's up to you. It's up to you.
I'm here. Where the fuck are you?
I'm here.
Okay, I'm still here too.
What I want to know is what you're going to do.
What I want to know is why are you being like this? Like you're Miss So and So. Come on, man. We're all here together. We're in.
Not gonna lie, I don't really think. I feel like she was kind of asking some good questions a little bit, though. Like, am I alone on that? I'm not a huge fan of PG. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really not. But I don't care if there's anybody in here that likes PG. More power to you. I really don't care. That's fine. You're all welcome here. And I like to hear what everybody has to say. I'm not a fan of her. But I thought she actually was kind of saying some stuff that made sense for a minute. She was asking better questions than Daisy. You love PG? A lot of people do. I would never judge anybody for wherever they want to go, and nobody likes all the same stuff. Yeah, they are dysfunctional.
In this world together. You're not better than me. We have one teacher. His name is Jesus Christ. Okay, you're not that person. So get off your high horse, all right, and meet me on my level. You're not going to sit here and judge me. I have a judge. His name is Jesus Christ. Okay? Okay, come on, man. Meet me halfway. Come on. Stop your shit. Meet me fucking halfway. Sorry for cussing on your channel, if this is your fucking channel. But whatever. Come on, man. You're not pissing me off. I'll meet you halfway. Stop.
You're not cussing on my channel, Donald. You're cussing on Summer's channel. This is.
I just want to point it out that she cusses on Summer's channel too, if that's Summer's channel. I mean, she talks pretty vile for that being Summer's channel. It just kind of irks me a little bit. I'm sorry. I don't like it that she calls it Summer's channel. It bothers me. I'm not going to lie. I don't like that. I get what she's trying to say, that it's for Summer. Her channel is dedicated to Summer, but I feel like maybe she should just clean it up a little bit, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, right before Don got out, I had said I would love to have seen Candace 5 years sober and single, give herself a chance to really learn life. Instead, yeah, right. I was kind of hoping, hey, maybe that might happen, but nah.
This is not my channel, son.
Okay, well, okay, don't call me son, 'cause I'm not your son.
This is Summer Moon Utah Wells channel.
Okay, like I said, I apologize for cussing, but I'm not your son.
No, you're not. You got that right.
You're not going to talk to me down to me.
Calling you son is talking down to you.
Well, I don't know whatever game you want to play. You're not going to talk down to me.
I don't think that's talking down to you, Donald. Okay, you know what?
You
know what I think.
You want to be my friend and fight for Summer, or do you want to fight against? What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
I'm going to tell you what I'm going.
Now, at this point, there's no progress being made. They're just going to start arguing, and it turns kind of ugly. And in my opinion, it really just distracts from Summer and it makes it about Dawn, which, I mean, unfortunately, that it is what it is. It got turned into that, and it always gets turned into that. And here is a perfect example.
I'm going to fight for it.
Okay, then why are you trying to make it about me? Let's make it about Summer. Who gives a fuck about me? Okay, number one.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Donald. Everybody gives a fuck about you. Okay.
No, that's your problem. That ain't my problem.
We all give a fuck about you because you are Summer's dad.
Yeah.
You are her dad, son.
Okay, here's the fact. I love.
All right. Yeah, we're all here because we care about Summer, and he's Summer's dad, and he's here speaking, so of course we're going to listen to everything that he has to say, right? I will. A lot of people don't even listen to a lot of what Don has to say. They tune out when he starts arguing because they don't think it would obviously help in finding Summer, but I personally listen to every single word that man says. I think it says a lot about his character, definitely.
Love my daughter, and I would do anything for her. And not anything, but I would do almost anything for my daughter and her love.
I'm sorry, what? He would not do anything, but almost anything. Who says that?
Oh, okay, so you need to fucking watch your
step. What do you mean, not anything?
I wouldn't kill your ass for her, okay?
Kill me?
I said I would not kill you for my daughter.
Why the hell would you kill me for your daughter?
All right, and then it goes into Prayer Garden thinking that Don said that he wanted to kill her, but really that's not what he was saying. But she kind of like, I don't know if she truly got that mixed up or if she just kind of turned it into sound like that's what Don said, but that's really not what he was saying. I don't really know what exactly Don was trying to say there. That kind of confused me a little bit. I don't know if he was saying like he wouldn't even kill her because she's not that important to him. I have no idea. You think Don and PG know each other because he asked her, why are you all holy now? Think about it, people. She seems to know more about the Wells than she should ever know if she doesn't really know them. I've questioned it. I've questioned if Don went there when he supposedly went to Kentucky in the beginning of the case. I heard that he went to Kentucky for like 3 days or something. Did he go stay with her? Because I heard a rumor that he did. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying it's something that I heard. Oh, thanks, Mama Mac. Appreciate that. All right. So Don and PG go on to argue for a few minutes using a lot of cuss words. Don ends up getting kicked off panel. Don says he goes to the Seventh-day Adventist church every Saturday. PG says, yeah, I know you go to a church where people murder people out in the woods, and you go there and you're safe, right? You know what she means by that, right? Because supposedly people that go there, you can just do whatever and they still accept you there. A lot of churches are like that, though. He says he is in Chicago and goes to church with a bunch of black people and ex-gang members and stuff. I don't know why he had to specify skin color here or what that has to do with anything, but okay, Don. He says, "Where the hell are you? I'm not afraid to tell you where I'm at, so where are you?" And PG says, "She's right here." Don says, she told Don that she goes to a Baptist church. Okay. She says she is willing to effing die for her daughter, and Don isn't willing to do anything for Summer. Really, it seems like Candace is the one that won't do anything for Summer. Don at least comes out and tries to talk. I mean, he at least tries to make it look like he's trying. She says, PG says she would do anything for Summer, and she's not even her child, which I think a lot of us can agree on that. She says, this is your daughter's channel. It's not about you. So steel toe boot in the ass, you're gone. And she boots him. She goes on to flip out and swear about how she knows the hood. When she started talking about knowing the hood, I'm not going to lie, I started cracking up. That was hilarious. Just picturing Prayer Garden in the hood. Anyways, she says she used to be one of them. She says Don Wells can kiss her ass. She thinks Don was thinking about killing her, even though Don said the exact opposite of that, which I still found weird. But PG says that's why they're not getting the boys back, but that's not why they're not getting the boys back. In my opinion, I think it has nothing to do with YouTube, unless she meant the way Don talks, but she doesn't know why they're not getting the boys back. And the reason Don and Candace have lost their boys, nobody actually knows that for sure, even regardless of what Don tells us, which is always something different, that they're kidnapped, that it was because he started drinking again, that it was because they were in danger, that it was because of people from YouTube. We've heard so many different stories about that. All right. I'm going to have to... All right. Kiki can't stand PG, and Dana Lynn loves PG. See, some people hate her, some people love her. I mean, some people are just like that. You love them or you hate them. Is Killer in here? Well, if he is, what's up? Hey, Amy. Spanish Angel. PG was good with the interview until trying to shame Don about drinking. Well, I think she was just kind of trying to call him out a little bit, but she has her own way of doing things. Sexton data on Old Camp. Killer, you've been doing great stuff. You do a lot of great stuff. If anyone hasn't subbed up to Killer Looks, definitely go over there and sub up. Yeah, Candace never had a normal life, Dawn. She believed in you. I'll agree with that. Lady R, I know. You think so? You think they're full-on junkies? I think at one point Don was, probably Candace too, and maybe still Candace. I think Don actually tried to clean up his act a little bit, but he's probably still drinking sometimes. I don't know. That's just how I see it. Hey, Jojo from Kokomo. The Three Stooges know exactly what happened to Summer and where she is. I think so, too. Pathway from Ben Hill to Sexton's. I would love to see that on a map, but I'm not good with the map thing. There's a lot of people on here that do really good with maps. That's something I need to work on. I love when people do lives with maps, but I'm just not good at it. Maybe you could do one, Killer. Don thinks everyone talks down to him because of his guilt, probably. I mean, can you imagine if he really is guilty, the pressure he must feel? It's probably immense. I couldn't imagine living with myself if I had guilty knowledge about where Summer Wells was. If anything happens to be PG, I pray I don't go when she goes, because I don't want to be behind her when she goes and stands in front of God. I don't want to take his madness out of me. Kiki, you crack me up. Hey, Gemini. Yeah, Lisa, that's not what he said. But I think she took it that way because he just said something about, I wouldn't even kill you. And she took it, well, why is killing and me on your mind at the same time, and put the 2 and 2 together and made it sound like he said he wanted to kill her. But that's not what he said. He did use those 2 words in the same sentence, but that's not how he meant it. Whose son? She cracks you up too, nature lover. Yeah, she cracks a lot of people up. Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm just looking through your comments. You get Lady R says she gets messages sometimes, someone saying go see what's happening in PGs. You better believe I'm watching sometimes. I know, right? I'm not gonna lie, I do too, but only when, like, if Dawn's on there. But I just skip through it, you know what I mean? And sometimes I listen just because it's playing on my phone and I walk away from my phone, so it just keeps playing and I'm listening, not by choice. That happens sometimes. You know, a lot of people, he says, I don't approve of PG putting heads of missing children on other bodies. I don't like it either. A lot of people do like it and think it's beautiful, but I think it's just the idea of removing Summer's head, just I couldn't even do that on a computer app. Like just the idea of it, just it is creepy. It's weird. That's my opinion too. Yeah, it's not. You're right. And it's sad that it's not. Getting him up on panels is not helping find Summer, and that's her own father. That should be helping find Summer because he should be finding a way to make it helpful and useful, but he's not using his time that he has to talk about Summer wisely. It could be helpful if he made it helpful. Yeah, they should try, and I wish they would have took the help from the Cold Case Foundation. I just don't understand why they wouldn't. I would take the help from anybody. Abundance Create says a living trust fund can be set up on behalf of anyone. A college for the boys can be set up. Really? So I don't know about stuff like that, but wouldn't that be great if something like that could be set up for the boys and then people could donate to it? I would have no clue how to go about doing something like that, but I think that would be great if something like that could happen for the boys. And Summer could be included in it too, maybe. I don't know how that would work if you're missing, but I don't know. I feel like in some way she could be included in it. That way if she is found, I don't know. Miss V, the Lombie. You think so? I kind of sensed that a little bit too, not gonna lie. Yeah, Don won't reveal anything that's going to land him in prison or Candace. For sure. Because he says prison's the worst place you can go, and he wouldn't even wish prison on whoever took Summer, or if somebody did whatever to Summer, he wouldn't wish prison on them. If it's the worst thing you can do to somebody is put them in prison, then wouldn't you want them to go to prison for doing whatever they did to your daughter? That always was a huge red flag to me. They do act like they go way back. He meant he wouldn't murder for Summer is what he meant. Yeah. I think at one point I had understood what he said because I had to like rewind it and listen to it again when I was listening to it last night, and I was like, okay, I get what he's saying now. But then after re-listening to all of it, I'm like, I can't even remember what he meant by that. I don't know. It was kind of confusing, but he definitely didn't say he was going to kill PG. It is a strange thing to say. Very strange. PG has never met Don and does not live in Kentucky, says Lisa K. I mean, if she's never met Don, then they just seem to talk like they've known each other and they're familiar with each other, but sometimes people just talk like that. I have no idea where PG lives, and if I knew where she lived, I would never be like, oh, she lives in Kentucky. If I knew she lived in Kentucky, I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying that's what I've heard. And then I heard that Don went to Kentucky. So I wondered if he was going to see her. And that was after Summer went missing, regardless. I just totally skipped way ahead in chat. Sorry. This is about Summer, not me. PG says, yes, it is about you, Donald. You're Summer's dad. PG making it about Donald. Good catch. Didn't even notice that. Terry Southern gal. Yeah, thank you, Beverly. I try really hard to stay on subject, and when I'm reading chat, it's easy to get off subject. Yeah, I am too. Looking forward to Ellie making arrests. Yeah, definitely never dox anyone. Please. I would never dox somebody. I was just saying that I heard that that's where she was and that Don went there. I don't know. He first say that he was there, meaning their property, and then says in Chicago. I'm not sure, Kasha. Good to see you, though. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Like in the beginning, when he was talking to PG, he said they're referring to his home, but then he said they were in Chicago. I'm not sure. He might have just be used to saying that, referring to his home. You think he's trying to make up for using the N-word? Well, I don't think much can make up for that. Hey, Cotton Candy. She was. She was twisting his words. I mean, yeah, we all see it. I think she was just really hyped up. She was just hyped. And Don must not get it. No one wants to be friends with Don except Tim, maybe. Right, well, apparently they're best friends. Even though when they first met, they were supposedly arguing over airspace, which is new because I thought they first met at the prayer vigil because that's what Tim said. So one of them's lying or Don doesn't remember. Yeah, right, Lisa J. The Wells think it's all about them, but Summer is lost in this whole mess. That's why I don't pay attention to garbage from the Wells. Totally understandable. You wouldn't kill for them? Well, I can't blame you. People say they would kill for their children, but when it comes down to it, I don't. I just don't. I don't know if I'd be able to do it either, to be completely honest. But depending on what happened, it might be one of those in the moment things that, shoot, I don't know how I would react. I might jump on someone's neck if they hurt my kid. Probably would. Can't say I would kill them, but I'd definitely jump on their neck. Hey, Holly. So yeah, I was done playing that video. I'm just chatting with you guys now at this point. Marita thinks PG is a vile person and she doesn't know the hood. She lives in Philly and knows the hood and wouldn't survive one day in the. She says PG wouldn't survive one day in the hood. Well, I don't know. Maybe she is from the hood. I don't know. I can't say. I can't judge somebody for if they're from the hood or not just by hearing them talk on YouTube. But she does seem pretty feisty. Maybe she is. I don't know. You think as recent as last night, Lisa K, that Don's still on crack? Well, from what I heard, he is. From what a lot of us hear, he is. Yeah, Don's always been covering for Candace, but I believe her time will run out also. And in the beginning, I was a lot more suspicious of Don, but as time goes on, I'm becoming a lot more suspicious of Candace. I'm very suspicious of both of them, but I feel more suspicious of Candace now just because of the fact that she isn't even coming out and trying to make herself look good. She's not even putting an effort into caring what people think, if they think she's guilty or not. It seems like she's pretty much given up on everything. A damaged person can give up on life, but not when their daughter's missing. That's my opinion. I've never seen anything like it. Hey, Palm. Trying to read your comment, Cotton Candy. Doesn't matter if you had a normal life. If anything, that would make that person not hurt their children. I agree. Killer loves maps and keys. Yeah, I do too. I need to get better with maps because I think it would be cool. I love when people do lives and they do the maps. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Especially in the holler, because just there's something so mesmerizing and captivating about the Appalachian Mountains and about the area where Summer lives. It's just so mysterious and beautiful. So it's another reason why I like looking at the maps. Her the area is just really pretty. Hey, Vibes. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead a little bit because I don't know when I'm going to have to go. So I'm not trying to miss your comments, but yeah. Your childhood was bad. Well, I'm sorry. I don't wish that for anybody. Oh, I thought you were saying yours was. But yeah, you're right. That is the go-to excuse these days. It's pretty sad. It's like, yeah, I get when people have a bad childhood, they could have trauma that could affect them into adulthood, but as an adult, you have to learn to deal with those things. And there is so much help available that I feel like people have every opportunity to be able to deal with their trauma. And it doesn't make their trauma any less. But you can't just blame your childhood on everything that you do as an adult. Hey, Rosie. You think he already knows what happened to Summer? Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I think they need to help themselves and like clean themselves up a little bit. And maybe Candace, if she would quit getting so intoxicated every night, she could figure out a way to start doing the right thing. If they truly are innocent of Summer going missing and somebody truly did take her, then they can still do the right thing. They still have time to clean up their act, but they're not. That says a lot to me. They're not using the resources that are basically being handed directly in their lap for free. They're not taking it. They don't care. They would rather, they don't want to be taken away from their free time and their, what they want to do in their secret life, in their home life, what they do in their free time. They don't want that taken from them by inviting help into their life, and it would be an inconvenience to them. And also, if they are guilty, of course, they could be found out. So there's that. The Cold Case Foundation would really help Don. He won't take their help because he knows what happened to that baby, and I agree with you. I agree. I used to be kind of afraid to say it just straight up, but anymore, I'm not scared to say it. I think Don's guilty. I think Candace is guilty, and I think they know where Summer is, and I'm sick of it. It's like, it gets to the point where it really does get frustrating. Like, I get real life mad about it, that they're not saying anything for Summer. They're not doing anything for Summer. But anger isn't going to solve anything. So you have to find a way to find a middle ground with yourself and take a breath and keep pushing through and just keep trying to talk about her and do the right thing yourself, instead of letting the anger get the best of you and giving in to the drama that Don and Candace bring to YouTube, because that doesn't help find Summer. You think so? He doesn't want the person that hurt Summer to go to prison because of who it is. Hey, funny face Brenda, I love Killer Looks' work too. Did PG say she knew Don and Candace before Summer went missing? Did she like slip up and say that somewhere, or did she just like hint at it? Yeah. There is a lot of interesting opinions. There's a lot of different people from different sides of the spectrum, for sure, which I totally appreciate. I love to hear what everybody has to say. So when he was in Kentucky, PG has said a dozen times Don was hiding in the basement on the phone with her the whole time. I remember hearing that. What about a white van? Little Wing, have you heard anything about a white van? Someone asked Candace, but she didn't know about the van. Where did I just hear? Have you been asking that? Did you ask that to somebody else? Because I feel like I did recently hear somebody saying something about a white van, or I heard somebody else ask that same question. And Candace didn't know anything about the van. I know I heard her say she never knew anything about a blue van, and Jackie Dobbs had a blue van, but I don't think Jackie Dobbs is guilty. I'm just saying I remember her talking about a blue van, but I don't specifically remember hearing her talk about a white van, no. Oh, I know you weren't, Beverly. I don't know how far behind I am in chat, but I think I'm really far behind. I'm trying to get down to the bottom to see if anybody answered anything that I asked. She said it a dozen times. If you can clip it, that'd be awesome. Cotton Candy said she removed one of her comments above because she misspelled a word, and she thinks some people might have mistook what she meant, so she's sorry about that if anybody did. Yeah, I think so too, just Rosie, and I think a lot of people are addicted to YouTube in an unhealthy fashion, and it kind of shows. Does Lady R have the rules for my channel? The rules are, don't say anything crazy about what happened to Summer, as in like, If you think something really violent or really terrible happened to her, email me. Please don't say it on here, like really bad, vile things about her, because I've had people say things that were really graphic that they thought happened to Summer in my chat, and I don't like that. You don't have to be that graphic. That's really the only thing I ask, and just, try to be respectful because it's in Summer's name. That's all. Yeah. Thank you, Susan. Is it Suzanne? Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Suzanne. That's a pretty name. Right, Valerie? That's crazy having a cocaine habit at his age. Yeah. I don't know how he would do it. I get when you're 20, but when you're almost 60, your first suspect was always Can. I'm not gonna lie, mine was Don, but now it's more Candace, but I think they both know. I really think, yeah, I think they both know. And at this point, they're both equally as guilty. But I think if something happened to Summer, it was on Candace's watch. So, Robin, have you even tried to talk to Summer's mother or Summer's father, because they have no problem talking about their children? No, I don't really care to talk to Don or Candace personally myself, because I don't see how I could talk to them and get anything accomplished, or either one of us remain respectful, because usually if you don't have anything nice to say, it's not really worth saying anything at all because it's pointless. And I don't really have much nice things to say right now to them personally. I would probably get too worked up. And I don't believe that they don't drink anymore, because I feel that I hear it in their voice, and that's how I think. Saying I'm not saying that they are for sure. But compare Candace's voice to how she sounded on Chris McDonough when she did her interview with Chris. Compare her voice to then with pretty much any other time she's on YouTube. Pretty much any other time she was on here, she sounded completely different because she sounded intoxicated. And I'm not judging them for being intoxicated. Well, in a way I am, because their daughter's missing, and that has to do with why they didn't get their kids back, probably. And it might have something to do with why Summer went missing. So yeah, in a way I am judging them for still drinking, and you can hate me for that if you want. I really don't care. And I'm trying to be respectful myself, but this is something I'm very compassionate about. And Summer is still missing, and her parents are just fucking around like they don't care, and it pisses me off. So if you want to come in here asking my opinion, I'm going to give it to you. Yeah, if they want to get high and drink, that's fine. Just be honest. If you can't handle your alcohol, you probably shouldn't drink. That's just my opinion. Summer's life mattered. I'm here for Summer and not any of the clowns that came out of the woodwork. Exactly. Exactly, Suzanne Goins. Me too. Hey, Tattoos, Thrifting, and Coffee. Wow, it's so good to see everybody in here. Like, I love it when people that might not necessarily agree with me come into chat and want to talk, because I love hearing everybody's opinion and everybody's point of view. I don't either, Teresa. Yeah, I wish LE would interrogate them a little bit more, but there's obviously some kind of investigative tactic to what they're doing. I mean, I doubt they're just sitting on their hands and just twiddling their thumbs. I truly, I have faith in TBI. I pay attention to when I see busts going on and when I see all that they do, it's like, wow, they really have a good track record. They do. And Hawkins County, maybe not so much, but it's Hawkins County. TBI is they have a lot more going on. So, of course, they're going to have more of a track record, but they have a good track record. Yeah, they don't want to go to prison. I mean, nobody wants to go to prison, right? As Don would say, it's the worst thing you can do to somebody is send them to prison. So he wouldn't even send whoever did anything to Summer to prison. What does that tell you? He should want whoever did something to Summer in prison, especially if he thinks that's the worst thing you can do to somebody. Oh, it gets me fired up. Hey, my name is Dee, here listening and cleaning your house. I saw you in here earlier. Kimberly says, Lisa, you're right. He is not in Chicago. He's afraid of people following him. JLR filmed his son's home last time. Yes, he did. And honestly, I thought that was wrong. I mean, I'm pretty sure he has kids, doesn't he? And that's not cool. I'm not the type to go real life like that. I don't think anything like that should be happening. But I'm not a huge fan of JLR either. I have my reasons. Divine Justice, aka Miss G, the Honey Badger. Ellie already has them for whatever happened to the boys, but in my opinion, they're waiting for charges about Summer to make sure it's a solid case. Ellie is waiting to strike. I think so too, and I think honestly, a lot of the reason why they haven't locked them up for anything is probably because they're trying to find Summer. Maybe they think that somehow they'll be led to Summer through Don and Candace if they are out. Who knows? Marlena, I love you for it. She says they don't love Summer, and I don't ever want to hear them say they do. I'm going to call them out on it if I hear it again. I can't blame you for feeling that way. Holly says Marlena Crawford's dad had a blue van, and so did Andy B's uncle. Did they? I saw on Google, when I was looking on Google Earth or whatever, in the beginning of the case, there's all kinds of red trucks. There's lots of red trucks, and it seems like now everybody has a blue van too. The two things that, well, Candace mentioned the blue van in the beginning, and somebody mentioned a blue van. Candace mentioned not knowing about the blue van. I never heard anything about Marlena Crawford's dad having one or Andy B. I just knew Jackie Dobbs had one. So I assumed that was the blue van that was being referred to. But like I said, I don't think Jackie Dobbs has anything to do with it. If he did, I don't think he would be like all over social media and posting stuff and talking to people in the Summerwells community. That's just my opinion. And that's not why I don't think he's guilty. I just don't. Although that phone call that him and his wife pocket dialed was very strange. I will say that. Yeah, they do talk to a lot of different people and tell a lot of different stories. You're right. Yeah, right. Just Rosie. If somebody stole or hurt my daughter, I would want them in prison. For sure. Because I would be afraid of what I would do to them, that I would go to prison. So just lock them up. Make them suffer. Tracy with an I hear you, girl. I'm not like a religious person per se. Like, I don't follow any particular religion. I have my own beliefs. I have my spirit guides that I pray to. But I still believe that for her to have prayer in her name, maybe she should clean up her language a little bit, because her channel is Prayer Garden of America. but whatever. It's her channel. She can do what she wants. Yeah, I don't know about what happened to Candace's ribs. I heard she hurt it drywalling, but I don't see how that could be. Who's doxing? Is somebody doxing in here? Yeah, don't do that. Well, Mike make video shows. To me, it's grandma and knows why Summer's dead. Well, we don't know for sure if Summer is alive or dead. I don't want to say that she's dead. Like, I don't want to say that like it's a fact because we don't know that. She could still be alive. We still have to look. Like, when I go out places in a busy place, you think I don't keep my eyes open for a little girl that might look like Summer? Every day, everywhere I go, because she could still be alive. You can't just assume that she's dead, you know? Even though it's been 2 years and there's no signs of life or anything, but I mean, you don't really get that a lot with a 7-year-old. They don't use credit cards and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, if somebody has her, they're probably not taking her to doctor appointments. Yeah, spell check. Yeah, it'll get you. Hey, Birdie. You think Don's a ringleader? I think Don feels like he has to be in charge of everything, and he's a definitely very controlling person. Why is Oh, okay. Are you talking about the oldest? If that was my theory, I wouldn't personally discuss it because I don't think it's necessarily appropriate because they're children, but I don't think so. That's me. I think it all boils down to Don and Candace. Yeah. Be careful what you say about the boys, please. Mike says press 1 if you think grandma is potential suspect in Summer's disappearance. Well, I think you'd probably get a lot of ones. I know a lot of people think that grandma's a suspect in Summer's disappearance. A lot of people definitely think that. In fact, some people think that she's solely responsible. I know a couple. Yeah, when you're an addict, it does take time. Yeah, cotton candy, yeah. Yeah, everyone has the right to their own opinions. Obviously, of course. I would never tell anybody how to think. I just say the way that I think. But you guys have brought up a lot of really good points. You're welcome. Tattoos, thrifting, and coffee. You have every right to be upset, says Marlena. And unfortunately, there's a lot of getting upset going around in Summer's case because it's a high tension situation and it's a very serious situation. People are going to get upset. People are going to get very defensive for Summer because they're not seeing her parents be defensive for her. So it might come off at times that people are being overly defensive, but there's a reason for that. It's for the love of Summer. Oh, Teresa. Wish I could give you a big hug. Yeah. Millie, bye. You probably already left. I'm probably way behind in this chat. Yeah, so 8 children between the two of them, and they have 0. 4 are grown. Notice we don't see any of the other kids standing up for DNC. Well, we saw, what's her name? We saw Margie come out and talk and speak on Don's behalf, but the only thing about that is I feel like the things she was saying, she thought was making him sound good, and it didn't really make him sound very good. She's like, yeah, my dad used to go on drug runs on the weekends, and he would come home and give me a lecture, and it'd be all right. And I turned out fine. I mean, that didn't really make him look good, in my opinion, even though it was supposed to. Yeah, I thought Don and Candace were in, I don't know, Arkansas or something. Aren't they in Arkansas? I mean, I don't really care where they are as long as law enforcement knows where they are. I just think it's funny that Candace always talks about how she'll never leave because she cares so much about Summer, and just in case she would come home, but she leaves all the time. So I know that's not true. It's just like she says things about how she loves Summer so much and cares so much about Summer, and then she'll turn around and do something against Summer. And you remember back when Candace said, I will never do anything against my kids ever again. What was she doing before that was against them? I would love to know that. Hey, Imagine Peace. I'm just going through and seeing what people are saying before I get off of here, because a lot of people have very differing opinions, and I think it's important for us all to talk about how we feel sometimes. Yeah, I don't know, Suzanne, why in the world would anyone turn down help to find your child, and it's free help? I mean, the Cold Case Foundation was willing to come together to help Don and Candace. Exactly, they were, and they probably would have done a lot to help him, because I have been seeing Brandy, Michael Vaughn's mother, Brandy Neal. Okay, Michael Vaughn is still missing, by the way. Oh, we should do something for Michael. We should definitely do a live for Michael Vaughn. But his mother's been in chats, and she has been cleared by law enforcement, and she says that the Cold Case Foundation is great and that they've done a lot to help her. And the very same chats that Don is in, there's a mother that's been helped by this foundation that has a missing child right now that went missing a month after Summer went missing, that was the same age as Summer. And they're helping Brandy. And Don can see that, and he sees that she's in chat saying this, yet he still turns it down because he doesn't like Chris, or because he doesn't want to be found out. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense any other way. If it's because he doesn't like Chris, that's just ridiculous. That's a shame. Yeah, Lady R, it took 2 years for the Wests to be arrested, and there's no bodies. Just saying. Exactly. It did. And I think about that all the time. And look what they found out. Look what they knew the whole time about what the boys said, about what their children said. And not what the boys said. I mean, well, actually, they are all boys, I think. But what their other children said about what happened to Orrin and Orson, and they knew all this whole time, and it still took them 2 years to arrest them, because they're probably trying to still find the bodies. Because that's obviously like the most important thing, is to find their bodies. You got to find them and give them a proper resting place, obviously, and find out what happened to them. And there is still a chance that Summer is alive, even though it's been 2 years. And what happened to the West boys is terrible. It's awful. I'm not saying anything that's what happened to Summer at all. I'm just saying, look what all they knew about the West boys, and it still took 2 years to make an arrest. They could know some sick and awful shit about Don and Candace and still have yet to arrest them, because it's part of their investigative tactic. It's just what they're doing to try and find Summer. Because at the end of the day, that's what's most important. And it's sick and it's dark and it's twisted, but it's life. And it's just what it is. Autumn says she hopes and prays that Dawn and Candace doesn't ever get the boys back. Well, hon, I don't think they're going to. They deserve to be with a family that loves and cares about them. I agree. Counseling will hopefully help and be good for the boys. Yeah. Right. I just pray that they truly are in loving arms. And I mean, they deserve a very nice house, very nice, comfortable beds and pillows and blankets, and the best of the best gourmet food. They don't deserve just any average home. They deserve the best. They truly do, because look what they had before. That has to balance out somehow. Yep, they would accept the help from anybody. Yeah, I know, right? We haven't heard. Andy Bernard and Marlena are cousins. I feel like I've heard that before. Suzanne says that's one person who we haven't heard from yet is Marlena Crawford. I want to hear about what happened the night before and the reason why the stayover didn't happen and the suitcase. Yeah, I've wondered about that too. I wonder a lot about Marlena, and we know that Fred Hill said that she wasn't supposed to talk about anything about Summer's disappearance. So what does she know? I would love to know that. All right, you guys, my son's up. I gotta go. I told you it would end abruptly, and it is. But I love you guys. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you so much, and we love you, Summer. Don't stop fighting the good fight. Love you guys.